and efforts in combating the AIDS pandemic. Her Excellency, the First Lady, has been its patron since 1996. Zimbabwe National Association for Mental Health. Vision and mission is to advance among all peoples of Zimbabwe the promotion of mental health and prevention of mental and emotional disorders through mental health intervention, methods, and advocacy. Her Excellency has been its patron since 1996. A mother who is concerned about the total wellness of her people, physical, emotional, and mental health. Zimbabwe National Association for Mental Health is the vehicle she uses to support and care for the emotionally and mentally unwell. Charity. Besides having her own children's home, Her Excellency is actively involved in charity work throughout the country. She has extended her hand and kindness to a number of charity organizations, supported initiatives, and stood by worthy causes. This is the lady that you are.
Because I had not prepared anything, is to borrow some words from a famous poet, and that is to say, all that she has set out to do, she has brought to pass. All things hang like a drop of dew upon a blade of grass.
Thank you. Thank you, Ali. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. There are 4 awards that Amai is going to get under the humanitarian group. The first 2 will be given by Mrs. Mugabe. The first one is Amai Mugabe Children's Home.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The second one is Zimna. The third one is AIDS Council Trust. And the last one is charity. Mr. and Mrs. Mugabe, give them a hand. The fourth group is Chirera Nerera. I'm going to invite Tsitsi Tseriwa, doctor who just graduated today, in fact, to give this award.
She's a medical doctor.
Medical doctor. Is Stephen Karim here? Dr. Stephen Karim.
Good afternoon. Vachirera Nerera, mother to the motherless, with a ready and warm embrace to all who need mothering. She has given hope to the hopeless and homeless, hence the title Vachirera Nerera. Grace Mugabe Foundation. The Grace Mugabe Foundation is the brainchild of the First Lady of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Amai Grace Mugabe. The increasing number of homeless children and children without proper care is a sore issue in Zimbabwe. Her Excellency has taken it upon herself as Vachirera Nerera through the Grace Mugabe Foundation to tackle issue of child care and homelessness by providing homely care and the nurturing of abandoned and disadvantaged children. There is a pressing need for more children's homes to be established due to the growing number of children being abandoned and orphaned, especially from HIV and AIDS.
Thank you very much. According to UNICEF, the number of orphaned children who have lost their parents to HIV/AIDS scourge in sub-Saharan Africa was estimated to be already around 20 million in 2010. These children become vulnerable to all sorts of abuse without safe and healthy environment. The Grace Mugabe Foundation has established a large children's home and a state-of-the-art double-story primary school. This establishment provides a facility to help alleviate the problem and provide a better future for the affected and other abandoned children. This move by the founder is in conformity with the Children's Act, Chapter 506, and supporting policy documents on the welfare and protection of a child. The foundation presently provides housing and preschool education to abandoned and disadvantaged children drawn from all over Zimbabwe. The home is expected to take up to 1,000 children when fully functional. I would like to add and say, Amai, people say you attained your PhD today. I say you always had it. Thank you very much.
Another hand, please.
Rukudzo rwatinoda kupa kuna mai takabata nemi pane zvizhinji zvataigona kutaura. Tinoda kusiyirai rukudzo rwokuti club yamajoina club yavanhu vasingazive. Saka majoina club yavanhu vasingazive. Zvese zvazvitaurwa navana apa izvi vange vachingotaura zvavo. Isu kwamauya uku, it's an area of ignorance. It's an area of people who don't know yet. Saka ndo pane nyaya. Mapinda imomo motosuwa, you must make yourself unhappy. So because you know very little yet, we all know. We have been chasing things, trying to know this, trying to know that. I see, Professor Chaneta, you will agree with me. My university medumu takatoona kuti hapana zvatinoziva my way. Tinoramba tichitsvaga. Saka nemiwo mapinda mu area yavanhu vanoramba vachitsvaga. Chimwe chamapinda mazviri ndezvokudai kuti ukaona onzwa kuti ndinoziva, kuziva uchiti ndinoziva kudarika vamwe, you are a danger to society. Watova munhu wakaipa zvikuru kusociety. Ndinopedzisa ndichiti Amai, munhu haazive zvese. Imi vari pano, munhu haazive zvese. Saka tinokupai nyembe is a doctorate of philosophy, but you might as well know it's a doctor of ignorance. Saka asi nokuda kwokuti hatina kuuya pano kuzotaura zvakawanda, tauya pano kuzokorokotedzai nokuda kwokuti mapa university yedu chimiro, mapa mhuri yenyu chimiro, mapa nyika yedu chimiro. Zvino ndoda kuti vakadzi vechidiki navarume vechidiki hakusisina achazoti nzvenga achiti ina nhambo yangu handina nguva ndakazodai. Matibatsira chaizvo ipapo nokuti vana havachatinyeperi. Imi ndakabata nemi ndichiziva ndachitoshaya kuti zvino mai vanowana nguva kupi. Unoziva hondo dzataiita nemi nenguva 2013 takapinda mumaelections muri mukati mezvizvi, tikapinda mumuchato wavana ava tiri mukati mekudzidza kwenyu tichitsvagiridza nguva. Saka tikaiwana kusvika imi madai masvika pamuri apa. Zvino ndinoda kuti ndichipedzisa ndikuti makorokoto zvakare. Ndinoda kuinda kwamuri. Ini ndinoti gushungu, makatibatsira. Amai, makatibatsira zvikuru. May it be well with you. May you live long. Ini ndapedza nemi vana. Kana manzwa zvandataura mazvinzwa henyu.
Let's give him a hand. The last 3 awards under education, I'm going to let my beautiful wife hand them over to Mom. The first one is Amai Mugabe Junior School. The second one is educational scholarships. And the third one is ALOS. A bigger hand than that. At this time, I'm going to invite Amai to say something to us.
Thank you very much, my beautiful children, Simba, Bona, Russell, and the rest for having arranged such a wonderful celebration. I'm not really a person who would want to celebrate at all. It's very difficult for me. The president knows that I usually want to keep a low profile. But apanda batwa ndirere. Pamsoro baba president. Kuni mandara zangu tete Catherine tete Magdalene. Mandara zangu zandati azvikwanise kuti tifare vasipo. Vasikana tuivava ndivo vana tete va president hundreds za baba vedu. Pamsoro mai chikore na baba chikore. Pamsoro Dr. Sibanda chief secretary. Pamsoro vashiri vezvekubhururuka. Tafunga kuti muchatiunzira chikopo tikambobhururuka nhasi. Pamsoro ndina mai vangu munin'ina wamai vangu, she's the only surviving sister, na mai vangu vari 2. There were 5 sisters, but kwasara mai vangu naivo. Sumukai mai vanhu vakuonei, mine in Lois. Pamsoro kuna sekuru vangu zvekare, the only 2 surviving brothers, my mom's brothers, sekuru Emmanuel na sekuru Ephraim nimadzimai sumukai vanhu vakuonei. They are my very, very good friends. Garai pasi. Pamsoro mai vangu, pana mai vangu vari uko. Mai vavo uyai pano. Mai garikai marufu. Ndinovada shukuru mai vavo. I used to live with her in the village. She provided food for me. She loved me so much. I was able to come to Harare because of her. She was very proud of me because those days I was a very brilliant young girl and she loved me. Amai, ndinokudai munozviziva. Ndinoda kuti vanhu vakuonei kuti muri mai vakakosha muupenyu hwangu. Ndinogara ndichivataura kuti mai vangu vakakosha. Chigarai pasi vanhu vakuonai. The eminent professors, I am here today because of you. Professor Mararike, Professor Chaneta, my assistant, research assistant, Mkoma Justice Tantire, na mai Mararike, nedare rese rakudzwa, vanhu vese mauya kuzofara nesu zuva ranhasi. Ndisati ndataura zvishoma zvandiroda kutaura. Can I ask those I've been privileged to graduate with today to come forward? Come forward, Shungu, my darling daughter, come here. Whilst you're putting on your garb, let me ask again, Tsitsi, can you come over? Tsitsi, come here. Matongo, are you here? Collins, are you around? Can you come here, please, Matongo? Come here. Yes. Shungu mwana wedu, mwana wokwa Mtero. Baba ndakatovaratidza ndikati honai Shungu, she's also going to be capped on Friday with me. And that's Shungu Mtero, mwana wedu, sekutaura kwandaita. Tunobva padhuze mumusha kumwe chete ikoko. I didn't know. Tinowandirana indava Shungu. Hatifaniri kuwandirana. And then Tsitsi mwana wangu, she's an adopted daughter wangu. Tsitsi ndakamtora asati ambopedza O level. My parents ake ese vakashaya. But ndikamutora ndikamuita mwana wangu, and I love you so much. I declare my love for you before. I forgot, Patrick. Ooh, I'm very sorry. Ooh, unondirambisana sekuru vako nasi. Ooh. Yes. Yes. Dr. Mnyati, of course. Dr. Mnyati, I will have to get used to it. I'm very sorry. So these are the people very privileged to graduate and a first lady. This is Dr. Mnyati. That's Dr. Tsitseriwa. Collins is my accountant. He's a very honest person and hardworking. When people start working with me, they don't understand me. Right? But when they really get to understand me, so Collins is our accountant. He's a very brilliant young man. He did his accountant's degree at the university and now aita MBA yake. Ava baba manchazi watu vani masters mangani anotonetsa kutaura akutokunda sekuru masters handizive kuti mangani so ndinoti Mwari akuitire zvakanaka. You actually a source of inspiration to others. I know Zimbabwe. I said the other day to the professors when I was doing my oral examination, I said, Zimbabweans are obsessed with education, and this is being shown today. Remain committed to the country. It's not about having certificates, but what matters is what you do with what you have. So we have to work. As Professor said, we are ignorant, we know nothing. What is before us is the challenge, which is before us is to ensure that we implement the Zim asset. Thank you very much. You can go and sit down. Together, yes. Ndinoda kutenda zvikuru nezuva ranhasi ndichitenda zvakare all those who decided to put this event together. I know it means a lot of work, a lot of thinking, commitment, and of course resources. But semunhu asingafariri zvake zvokutaurisa maningi, ndiri kutarisa vabhanda vari papo ndokumbova challenge mbichana. Abhanda vakapinda bookshop, and then he saw Dr. Mararike as well in the bookshop. Dr. Mararike semunhu waprofesa vanogara vakabata mazibhuku maningi maBible. So he was going there to buy books. He moved around, he found his books. But he was joined by the gentleman here, Dr. Banda. And so they were moving around. Dr. Mararke found the books he wanted to buy. But he was still looking around until the people in the shop came to him. They said, well, why are you looking for? You wondering, Professor, he has gotten what he's looking for. What are you still looking for? And he said, I'm looking for the Facebook. I can't find it. And I think because of that, people realized kuti vangongofanirawo kunge vari panapa. Vanhu vakatokutongoonawo kuti munhu chaiye chaiye. Tikatongowanikwa vatowo pano. So thank you very much for being here with us and celebrating with us. I would want to say he's a little girl who grew up in a village and not knowing what plans God had for me. Proverbs 16 verse 9 says, in their mind or in their hearts, humans plan their course, but God establishes their steps. I was there. I was telling others the other day that my entrepreneurial skills started there in the village. I used to be a really hard worker at that age. I could do a lot of things, and I thank God for having given me many talents. I sold chickens. I don't eat chickens. I never ate chicken. But I used to sell chickens. I used to rear chickens, and I sold chickens. So that's where it started. Don't be surprised the way it started. I used to be a very quiet person, down to earth, reserved. And you can see that in my children. And in fact, my husband is also like that. My husband is a very quiet person. Despite that, the fact that he's a politician, but he is a very, very quiet person. But if you want him to talk, ask him about politics, ask him about philosophy, any subject you want to talk about to him about. Then Mugabe can start talking. But I can say that I am very, very privileged to be around this son of the soil. He's been sort of my source of inspiration. When I met him, I was very young. And I know that sometimes he would not understand me because I have been a person who would want to always do something for myself. We used to argue sometimes, and sometimes he would feel embarrassed because of the things that I wanted to do, like selling wares at the market. But he, as time went on, he started understanding me, that he is a young woman who would want to work, and he started supporting me. And he's given me all the support that I needed in everything that I wanted to do. In fact, he's the one who even encouraged me to open shops, do that business. But at the same time, one thing I so much cherished was reading. He found me reading books, history, novels, and he would say to me, but why don't you write poems? Because he thought that I was good at English. But I said, no, I would rather, read books, write examinations. And I used to do that even as I was expecting, having to juggle, amongst all these chores, being a mother, you're working, you also want to do business, you're a wife, you have, the extended family. It wasn't that easy for me, but God gave me the wisdom. My mom always told me that as you wake up in the morning, you must ask for wisdom, which I always did. I'm surprised that my siblings forgot that, but our mother always emphasized that it doesn't matter how educated you may be, it doesn't matter how rich you may be, but one thing you must not forget to ask for from God is wisdom. And I did that. Because my mom, I am a cheap old block. My mom is she's a very beautiful woman inside, a beautiful heart. She has a beautiful heart, hardworking. So I grew up seeing what my mom used to do, and I wanted to be exactly what my mom was. I always tell people that I'm surprised when you asked, who is your role model? They say, my role model is Mandela, my role model is this person or that person. The people you don't even know, the people you have never had time to, interact with. I think the person who should be your role model is the person next to you, the person you are seeing on a day-to-day basis. Here in Zimbabwe, we have our role model. Mugabe is our role model. We see what he does, and you always want to follow his footsteps and be like him. So having, married him, having lived with him, I always wanted to be, like him, being a person who is very honest, a person who is very hardworking. This man works very hard, I can tell you. I've tried, to say slow down. You also need the energy. You need to rest. You are a human being, but he works very hard. And when he reads, I've never seen anything like that on earth. Then I say to myself, I'm blessed. Having lived with a mother who was hardworking, and here I am again with a husband who is very hardworking. And I say to God, I'm really, really blessed. You can achieve great things on earth when you actually have great people around you. I always tell people that when you want to achieve something, you must always look at what others have done. Professor Mararge said, you haven't started, you don't know anything, you're ignorant. It's very true. What you said is very true. If you are a person who wants to learn, you must always look at what others are doing. Don't be like that person I said is very arrogant, saying there's nothing that I don't know on earth. But I am a person who is not shy to ask. I always ask Baba all the time, how can I use this word? I always ask, and you learn that way. The Bible says, when you see a man of wisdom, a man of honor, you must wear out his doorstep. And this is what I've done. I'm there all the time, and there's never a time I would go to my husband and say, there is some reading. Can you edit this on my behalf? I can tell you, each time we went on holiday during the course of my studies, he read throughout the day, throughout the night, until I felt sorry for him. That's how he is. And you can see how much inspiration you can get from such a person you live with. I know that I work hard, but sometimes you find yourself, getting tired and say, no, I can't continue. And I remember Professor Mararke calling, how far are you? We need those papers back. So, Professor, I want to say I feel honored that I'm here today, standing before the people. And I will not say I'm proud because I have achieved this alone. It is also because of your perseverance. And Professor, I don't think many people know the intellectual capacity that you carry in that head of yours. People don't know. And I don't think people know how hardworking you are. I was so surprised. He would remember my thesis word for word. And I would ask, Professor, but you have other students. He wouldn't know why I was asking all the time, how many PhD students do you have? He would say like 5, 6, and masters, I have so many of them. But I said, but Professor, you remember word for word everything that's in, you even do it better than me. So this is how this man is working very hard. You've been a source of inspiration for me. And my Mararike, thank you very much for also having encouraged me to soldier on. And Professor Chaneta, you also have been a source of inspiration again, encouraging me. Mukoma Tandire, you worked really hard. You were in those places I could not be all the time on my behalf. Being the first lady of a country, obviously there are places I could not visit. For example, he had to go to prisons on my behalf to carry out interviews on my behalf. And I want to thank you for that, for having done a wonderful job. What I would say is this has been a concerted effort. And my mom as well, she kept by me all the time. Each time, because she doesn't talk much, she's getting old, she can't walk. But each time I wanted to read, I would sit by my mom and read. While she's just, watching television, we would just put the volume low. And I want to thank my children. They've been also by my side all the time, helping me to read, research, and typing, because it was quite a mammoth task to do that typing on my own. So sometimes Oma had to do it. But unfortunately, when she got married, I had to do it on my own. And also, of course, with the help of other people that we found with the professor. This year, 2014, it has been a very productive year for me. And I want to thank God for having made this year a wonderful year for my family. In that my dear husband, turned 90 this year. And for someone to be that age and be able to be very lucid and be able to walk straight. When we went to China, everybody was asking, are you really sure that President Mugabe is 90 years old? I said, yes, he is 90. And they said, wow, he's a wonderful human being. He's in a class of his own. Because most of the people who are 90 years old, you know, have to use walking sticks. But he can walk on his own. And one thing that surprised them was the intellectual capacity, the way he expressed himself. And the second thing that really happened to our family, it's not just my husband and I and the children, but the rest of the family, Mugabe family, Vazukuru, Vanasekuru, Kwandakabarwa, and the whole country at large, was the marriage of my son-in-law and my lovely daughter. It was a wonderful ceremony, and I want to thank you all for having made that occasion a success. It was a wonderful success because of the support you rendered to the family, and we will always cherish the support you gave us during that time and before the wedding. And here we are celebrating also this achievement. Every achievement grows from the seed grows out of the seed of determination. All I can say to you is, when you decide to do something or you set out to do something, along the way you may come across hindrances and you feel like, you know, giving up. I did the same. But it doesn't matter how hard things may be. You are a Zimbabwean. We are Zimbabweans. We have our role model, our president, who doesn't give up. We were saying the other day, when all this land reform started, a lot of people distanced themselves from us. I can say to you, people really were afraid even to greet us in public. But because of Baba's stand, because of his discipline, and because of his steadfastness, we managed to pull through. And look at what is happening when you are always honest in your ways. When you fear God, God will always be there for you during hard times. And you can see the way things are going now. It is because that Baba is a God-fearing man. During hard times, he wore that unfaltering spirit. He never gave up. We used to sit at the table sometimes and say, you know, all we have to do is to put everything in God's hands. We must pray about this nation. Even some of the people in Zimbabwe, even some of the closest people he was working with, they used to say, mudhara akutopenga. Dai achitoita step down. Kuti zvinhu zvitifambire. Honai vanhu vese vachatida. No one would want to talk to us. But Baba remained resolute. He made a resolution. And it wasn't just about talking, but he expressed it with his actions. So we really, Baba, we feel humbled when we stand before you. When you work hard for us, and sometimes we let you down because probably we don't understand what you really mean when you stand up to talk. I've sometimes said, listen to Baba when he talks. He talks about his country with a passion. Sometimes he comes home with a hoarse voice because he's trying to talk to you to make you understand that this is our country. zviome sei tinofanira kuramba takashinga. And tinotenda vese vakaramba vakamira nababa, vese vacharamba vakamira nababa, because at the end of the day Mwari acharatidza kuti munhu amire pachokwadi naasiri pamire pachokwadi ndiani. One thing that I would want to say to you is that God lives here in Zimbabwe. Whether you would want to believe it or not, he lives here in Zimbabwe and he visits everybody from here. You know, we are supposed to travel to the United States. Every year we went to the United States. Baba and I would be the last people to be issued visas. But this year is totally a different year altogether. I'm just thinking probably because of the visit we made to China and the agreements that have been signed, people are changing goalposts. They were so fast to issue the visas. They don't want to be left out in this bandwagon. The train is moving and it is moving very fast. And everyone wants to be on board that train. So you can see, I'm proud of you, Baba. I'm really, really proud. And I'm proud of all these Zimbabweans who have stood by Baba. Who have stood by Baba, because we are here, we are proud of who we are because of him. Hunhu hwedu takuziva kuti hunhu hwedu because vanenge vachititaurira nguva dzese zvehunhu hwedu. So inini ndinoti, when I saw the program Zim Asset booklet and read it through, I said, I am a Zimbabwean. Baba is the one who should do the talking. We must be foot soldiers. We must work. Because sometimes we abuse Baba, we just want Baba to do everything for us. This government, we must work. We have the opportunity. And you know, I think on earth, Zimbabwe is actually the luckiest nation on earth. Because look at the natural resources we have. It is not about going to school alone. Yes, Zimbabweans are very well educated. We are proud of that. But I don't want us just to have those certificates and hang them there and be, proud of those certificates. What is now left for us is to deliver, to work. The opportunities for us are there, galore, but what is left is for us to grab those opportunities and run with those opportunities. I try in my own small way. I have said to people, I don't compete with women because I know a lot of women have been marginalized for a long time. Why? Because I am in this position as the First Lady and I have seen many opportunities before me. And I have said, being the First Lady of this country, I want to lead by example and show the women the way to go. Don't be afraid. Sometimes we're afraid of taking risks. I was telling the chiefs the other day that we have taken you around this orphanage. We have shown you the school. And there are a lot more things we want to do here. We took to the dairy. But I told them that we are heavily borrowed. We had to borrow money. We had to take a risk. If you don't do that, you won't get anywhere. So please, vana baba vese vari muno, vana mai vese vari muno, tese tiri hama nehama, because we are all Zimbabweans. Tiri hama nehama. We must just learn to work hard. We don't want just to go about beating our chests. Zvataurwa na professor kuti no. You have just started. If you think kuti wanga wapedza, you are just beginning. So inini ndinozvipira kushandira nyika ino yeZimbabwe. Ndinoda kushandira nyika yeZimbabwe honestly. I don't want to let my husband down. I don't want to let this country down. I don't want to let all of you down. I want you to say one day, takanga tina mai. Takanga tina mai vakamirira vakazvipira kushandira nyika inoi. Ndinorwadziwa nemakumbo, ndinorwadziwa nemusanda. It's all because of working. I work hard. ndakapfeka spirit yekuti those who want to say negative things about us, let them say. But as they are talking, I don't listen. I have no eyes to read.